Hey guys, what's up? My name is Blinks, and today I'm going to be kind of talking about my problems with Rainbow Six Siege in its current state. So, as you know, before Steel Wave dropped, there was this big hashtag Save Siege movement. Now, I really want to kind of bring it back to that because I feel like everyone's kind of forgotten about that with the new drop of Steel Wave because of the new operators. But I really want to bring it back because most of those problems are still in the game. I'm not just gonna be going over like bugs and stuff like that. I'm also kind of gonna be going over like gameplay changes that I would like to see, maybe some quality of life changes, basically everything and all things that I think that could be really improved with Siege. I know this is kind of a different pace of video, but go down there and hit like and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow, and it tells me that you want to see more Siege content. Okay, so the first issue I want to talk about is sound. Now, I'm not going to go too deep into this. I think that the sound system in Siege is great. I think that the sound system is awesome. It's brilliant. It gives you a great vague understanding of where they are, but in other games it will give you exact location. However, there are a lot of bugs currently in the sound, and I know that the developers released a notice saying that they're going to rebuild the sound system from the ground up, probably using the same sound system but rebuilding it so there's probably less bugs and making it more efficient. Again, I'm not going to go too deep into it because I know a lot of other YouTubers have gone in depth with the sound and all the sound bugs. The only problem I have right now with sound is all the bugs. And then the second main thing is that there are so many times where I go into the match and my sound is bugged. Like I can only hear out of my left ear and my drone sounds weird. The second main issue that I have with Rainbow Six Siege is cheating and hacking. For me, it is way too easy to install cheats on the game, and it takes way too long for you to get banned. Now, I'm no anti-cheat expert by any stretch of the imagination, but I see other games like Valorant doing a lot more and communicating with the community a lot more when talking about hackers and getting hackers banned. Now, I know that Valorant is communicating a lot more because it's in the beta and stages of the game. Actually, it just released, but you get what I mean. They're communicating a lot more because this is like their make or break year. Now, all I wish on this matter is that Ubisoft can communicate a little bit more to the community about what they're doing about the situation. Because right now, I feel like it's a misconception that Ubisoft isn't doing anything and they're just letting the anti cheat thing that they use to update itself and ban the cheaters. More communication could lead to more action because it doesn't sound very good if you say, all right, I know that this cheating and hacking problem is huge. We haven't done anything yet. That just sounds bad on Ubisoft's part. So if they give like the weekly or monthly report and they say, all right, here's what we're doing, they're all of a sudden going to do a whole lot more because they have this pressure of, all right, we've got to report to the community at what we're doing with this issue. All right, so topic number 3 is pay to win skins. Enough said. Topic number 4 is lighting in Rainbow Six Siege. Lighting in Rainbow Six Siege is terrible. It's like you should have a keybind on your mouse or something to lower your brightness or higher your brightness by like 20. And that would be more useful than just sticking with one brightness. One great example of terrible lighting is on Border. So, right, I'm going to come in here. let's say I'm a defender peeking out. I won't be able to see anyone because it's so blindingly bright, and it's just an example of terrible lighting where, um, if I had been like, if I had maybe like turned down my brightness, then I might be able to see out here, but I might not be able to see this corner over here very well. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about from an issue perspective is bugs. This game is infested with bugs. There are so many bugs, whether that be, oh, flashbangs don't work, or flashbangs are inconsistent, or whether it be like Habana charges only work like 25% of the time. Okay, that's exaggeration, but you get what I mean. Ubisoft really needs to maybe make it easier to use R6 Fix, because I didn't even know that R6 Fix existed until I was like level 120. So that's an issue where it needs to be easy to report bugs, easier to report bugs. All right, so now I'm going to kind of transition into the issues I have with the gameplay aspect of the game. Okay, so the first thing has nothing to do with Ubisoft, but it kind of has to do with the Siege community. When we get new operators into the game, it should be a time of like celebration. Great, we're getting new content. But it's just nowadays it's just, oh my gosh, they're overpowered, nerf them, or they're underpowered, buff them. Again, this isn't Ubisoft's fault. It's just something that we as a community need to work on. The next thing I want to talk about is the defender-sided meta. Now, if you play in the lower ranks, then this doesn't really affect you. But defenders have, in almost every map, a distinct advantage over the attackers. There's just so much utility for the attackers to clear. They have to clear ADSs, they have to clear shields with my gadgets, Goyo shields, smokes, Malusis. It just doesn't make sense for attackers to do that in that short amount of time. Now, to combat this issue, there's two possible solutions. There is buffing attacks, so maybe giving them a secondary gadget that can better destroy utility, or nerf defense. I personally would like to see a nerf come to defense. I think that there's already enough utility in the game, and I don't really want to see more utility added that just makes the game more complicated. The reason I want to see a nerf come to defense is because I want to see more like how the game was on release, where gunplay was more important than utility. Because nowadays, utility is everything, and then you get in a few sparse gunfights here and there. This would not go over well with a lot of people, because there's so many like Jaeger mains out there that would hate to lose an ADS, or like Wamai mains that would hate to lose a few magnets. But I feel like nerfing defense, or even just nerfing like all utility on defense and attack, would really help the game go back to the state it was when everyone seemed to love it so much. Okay, so now the last thing I'm going to talk about is possible solutions to like all of these issues. So first and foremost, if they want to fix all of these issues, but it might take a little while, it's building a sequel to the game. That would give them opportunity to build it from the ground up. It would create that gunplay environment that I really like, and it would overall just give them a new chance and a new shot to iron out all the bugs without having to look into the million and millions of lines of code that Siege has. The next solution would be redoing things from the ground up. Now, what I mean by that is like take the most buggy area, so like sound, and completely just like delete that code and then just redo it from the ground up. Now, I get that's probably not realistic because I know that I'm not a developer. I don't know how many lines of code that would require or if that's even realistic. But that seems like the best way to iron out most of the bugs is just like start from scratch with just the systems that have a lot of bugs. This could fit into all three solutions that I'm going to propose, but the last solution is making it easier to report bugs. Again, I didn't even know R6 Fix was a thing until I was about like 500 hours into the game. And I feel like if they just like add a button, all right, report a bug, maybe add a screenshot or add a add a 10-second clips explaining like, all right, how you created the bug, so you can see like, all right, so developers can see and narrow down what line of code has the bug. That would make it so bugs would get patched a lot quicker because if more people are reporting it, then it gives the developers a better idea of what is causing the bug. I do not believe that Rainbow Six Siege is dying in its current state. However, I believe that this is a pivotal year that the developers can make a 10-year game or what could make a 7-year game. Because if bugs and issues continue and we don't see any improvement from the developers, then truth is, then some of the players are just going to leave and then all of a sudden the game starts dying. But if the developers show big improvements and start fixing a lot of the issues that are currently in the game, then I could see this game going for a lot longer because a lot more people can be engaged and are not frustrated because the thermite wall won't open. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have watched the end of the video, please consider liking and subscribing. It really helps the channel grow. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.